Paldies.
Labdien, un man ir liels prieks būt kopā ar jums un dalīties pieredze. Tā ir sanācis, ka savu pieredzi esmu jau vairāk nekā 10 gadus saņēmusi un paplašinājusi ārpus Latvijas, un līdz ar to angļu valoda ir kļuvusi par manu galveno valodu. Tāpēc šeit uz skatuves turpmāk es runāšu angliski, bet pēc šīs oficiālas daļas un varbūt pie vīna glāzes es labprāt centīšos atbildēt uz jūsu jautājumiem latviski. So, motivation. I think I have a very difficult task to keep you motivated, realizing that I'm the last person separating you from a coffee break. Well, I'll try my best to switch your attention from your need to have something caffeinated and sweet. Talking about needs. According to an American psychologist, Maslow, he saw needs as a source of motivation. Needs have to be met, or at least there should be a promise for these needs to be met, like, for example, a promise to have a coffee break in 15 minutes in order to keep us going. However, our needs have been changing from very basic needs to defend ourselves and to survive, like, for example, in the Middle Age, to other needs to grow and prosper economically, like in the industrial age. The Industrial Revolution actually is a very crucial moment in our history to understand the topic of this presentation, because it is exactly during the industrial age when a theory, an assumption that workers are best motivated by earning financial incentives was born. The theory that was dominating the managerial and business practices for a very long time, and not without some negative consequences. We have started to see evidence that actually this theory that financial incentives is the best motivator does not really work. 1 in 3 of bankers, the sector notorious for its bonus system, is proud to work in financial services. Only 13 employees from different sectors said that the prospect of having a financial incentive or another bonus would stimulate to work harder. And various research challenged this link between financial incentives and higher shareholder returns. But another very strong indicator that there should be something else beyond this monetary exchange between us is that there are increasingly more and more forums like this one today where people come together to collectively reconsider our needs today. A Spanish sociologist, Manuel Castells, calls our society a network society. The financial and the political crisis caused a lot of frustration across ordinary people, while social media gave voice to these people. And this voice was growing stronger and stronger and more confident as these people were connecting with the like-minded across national and cultural borders to bring about a political, social, or economic change. Harvard philosopher Michael Sandel, in his recent book, What Money Can't Buy, argues that our relentless accumulation of profit, our preoccupation to measure everything, including our social interactions and success with money, actually removed any meaning whatsoever from public or business discourse. So these connections, these social upheavals and these social movements that started to amplify in this network society could be seen in a way as a manifestation of our need to restore this lost meaning. In 2011, a North American magazine, Time, proclaimed the protester the person of the year, emphasizing by doing so the power that ordinary people have gained and became makers of history today. And this motivated, engaged, empowered, connected people who are creating a new world full of opportunities and meaning. Come back to this on Monday morning. I'd like to share with you a story of one of these protesters, a peaceful protester, that managed to bring her motivation to work, to her company, and by doing this, to transform her company. Her name is Celine Schillinger. She's a very good friend of our company, and she's head of quality innovation and engagement at Sanofi Pasteur, which is a global pharmaceutical company. As a woman herself and a strong believer and a strong supporter of diversity at work, she once started to become frustrated because she was not seeing this recognition, the same recognition of the importance of diversity from her top management. So one evening, she was courageous enough and she was bold enough to send an email to the CEO of the company by explaining this link of encouraging and supporting diversity at work and serving customers better. So what do you think? 2 years later, Celine was still with the company, and her network that encourages and supports women and diversity in general at work is one of the largest networks within the company, transcending more than 50 countries and including more than 3,000 employees, both men and women. And she's officially now referred to as that woman who transformed Sanofi Pasteur. It's a great example not only of someone who managed to bring this motivation to work, but also a great example of a company that recognized this motivated employee and eliminated any barriers on her way to connect with the like-minded, to make her cause and her voice stronger. But there is a great evidence that actually we all can become Celine. And there is a great evidence that you can create the right culture and the right environment within your companies to help your people understand and unleash this internal potential at work. Here is how. Driven by an aspiration to bring meaning to work, a leading professor of London School of Economics, Nawar Ashraf, decided to test her assumption that what actually motivates us is helping and serving others. So she paired with one of the major global banks, and her extensive international research involving more than 10,000 employees across more than 50 countries brought back very interesting and inspiring results. So she managed to prove that the higher our perception of the social impact of our work, the greater is our effort and motivation, the better is our performance, and the better is our collaboration with internal and external stakeholders. But what else is important is that this altruistic capital, our desire and will to help and serve others, actually can be accumulated, meaning that more socially positive actions we are involved in, more we want to do in the future. Nawa's research brought something interesting about ourselves, about human beings. Her research actually showed that we can actually enjoy working together, collaborating, and helping each other as opposed to competing, as we've been told to believe in for a very long time. And her research showed that actually helping and serving others can be a very strong source of motivation for us and for employees in general. So based on this evidence, I would like to share with you some of the practices that some of the large international companies that we've been working with started to include into their everyday practices to help their employees to understand and to relate to the social impact of their work. So it's about articulating your social purpose, it's about what we call looking out the window, and it's about bringing people together and listening. I will explain briefly each one of them. So articulating your social purpose it is about answering a very short but very complicated question: why does your company exist? Not what do you do, but actually why are you here? What is your contribution to society? Are you a pharmaceutical company? So is it about selling more and more drugs? Or is it about actually helping to fight some of the most dangerous world diseases? Are you a professional service company? So is it about helping your clients to become richer and richer? Or is it about contributing to building a healthier and more inclusive society? Well, looking out the window might help you to understand this. By this, we mean that to understand and to realize your social impact and your social purpose would be very strange and odd to do so in isolation from society. So looking out the window, it's about changing your perspective from looking inwardly to opening up to society and try to understand its needs, its aspirations today. And one of the ways how to do so, it's about bringing people together and allow them to listen to each other. It's about creating these safe spaces, these safe forums that I was referring to in the very beginning of my talk, to allow people to exchange with opinions, to exchange with knowledge, to exchange maybe with some frustrations, but also to allow them to break this wall, to break this border between society and their company. So, the insight that I've been sharing with you is relatively new and fresh. For example, the outcomes of the research that's conducted by London School of Economics, the results of this research came out only in the end of last year. And these practices that I shared with you are quite new for companies we work with. However, I can share with you some of the results, outcomes of engaging with these practices, which are quite inspiring too. So, based on the insight from one of these companies, the outcomes of creating these regular safe spaces, these safe forums for people to have an open dialogue with each other on a variety of topics, are people are supportive of change, and they feel part of their corporate culture. They trust leaders more, and they understand the strategy better. So, what I try to demonstrate with very short presentation, and time really flew by, that yes, our needs might be changing, and our needs might be different, but there is something that we all probably share with each other, and something that we've been neglecting for a very long time, and this is our need to belong to something bigger, which can be realized and which can be understood through social connections and through social interactions. Yes, ordinary people make history today, and ordinary people transform companies, and we all can become Celines. But the thing is that 100 Celines standing hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder, with a very strong realization of why they are doing this, is much more powerful. Thank you very much.